friends, how are you doing? I had a few requests after I did my first journal reading to do more, so of course I didn't do more, because that's what I'm like. I ended up doing something else and something else, but I was keen to go back to it, and continue it. I did call the first one part one after all, so I did intend to keep going. So I hope you enjoy this. It's just going to be soft spoken, me talking again, with maybe some page turning sounds as well. So where I left off, if you recall last time, I basically detailed my journey from Scotland, Edinburgh, to London, staying overnight in London, my first impressions after I got off the plane in Bangkok, and exploring with the intention of then going to a tropical island. The first time I ever went to a tropical island called Samet. And I'm just going to basically recap that last page and then carry on, and hopefully you'll like it. So, walked down Koh San Road, then came back to Peachy Guest House for about 1 a.m, leaving this morning for an island called Koh Samet. Sounds wicked. I like to put in silly details like the hour and that one just says bungalow, but I thought it might be in other ones I actually put like the room number and stuff, things that I would never remember, but seems to make it more real to me when I read it back. So Koh Samet, 06:54 a.m, 5 to 7 in the morning, GMT +7, bungalow, 9th of December. This is 2002. Well, I waited for the minibus to come and pick me up for about 8 a.m. at the guest house lobby, but no show. I eventually got the minibus at the travel shop about 8:45. About 45 minutes into leaving Bangkok, I finally got the courage to break the ice with two of my fellow passengers, and soon we were all talking and joking about stuff. That's important, right? And I'm betting now that all the backpackers who are out there now with smartphones and stuff, it's so easy to hide with the screen. But before that, it was difficult to be in a bus or on a beach, surrounded by complete strangers, especially for people traveling on their own like I was, to just get the courage to just go, hey, how you doing? And often they don't even speak English, and you end up in all these awkward situations, but hey, there's no harm in trying, and it's important because it makes the experience so much better. Arrived in Pattaya and said bye to Glenn, a rather cool Kiwi who had been living in London for a while, and so therefore was as white as me, because everybody was like super tanned, especially the other backpackers, and I was like a milk bottle. That's how white I was. We then all continued onto Rayong, to a town called Ban Pei, and to the port where the boat for Koh Samet would leave. Arrived in the port, a small town, and met Simon and Angie, who were both Swiss, Joyce, who was Dutch, and we all sort of formed a little group. Then about 12:40, we boarded the boat and headed for Koh Samet. The heat is quite amazing, although I am not burned yet. I actually have, I was playing with my green screen, and that's a photo of the crossing to Koh Samet right there. There you go. You get the idea. I actually took this photo on a later trip because that's a nice photo with taken with my DSLR, which I didn't have. I don't even think they existed in 2002 today. That one certainly didn't. So, but it's exactly the same boat, same crossing. So, arrived Koh Samet, got a taxi, a pickup truck with benches, and dropped us at Ao Pai. The four of us then searched for rooms. It took a while because it is quite expensive. Although I did not care, because when I saw that crystal clear water and white sand, I just wanted to jump right in. We eventually decided on a room with 4 huge double beds for 1,000 Thai baht, 250 baht each, which I think was like 66 baht to the pound then. So yeah, it still wasn't much, really. And the room, the bungalow, is cool. Headed for the beach, about 40 yards away, and went swimming. Awesome. So warm, so clear, so sunny. After a while, I decided to check my email and see if there was anyone online I could make jealous. And then I saw Cami online, which is a friend of mine. Hehe. I actually wrote hehe. So bought a coconut, drank it, ate it. Then we all seen a little while later that a huge electrical storm was brewing on the horizon. Pink and red clouds with smatterings of lightning throughout them. I've never seen anything like it. We all tried to take pictures, but very difficult. I took a video. I just hope it turned out okay. The video I took was on my Canon PowerShot 2 megapixel camera, which shot video with no sound at, I think, 640 by 480. And I don't know if I've still got it, but I do have that image you're looking at there is actually one of the photos I took of that lightning storm. It's blurry, but here's the slightly sharper version. That's the beach. Can I quick? Here we go. Yeah, that's actually Ao Tap Tim, it's called. So yeah, it was pretty amazing because it was silent. There was no thunder. It was just this pink and red for hours and hours. Like, it didn't even really, it seemed like the sunset, it was a sunset, but it just seemed to go on for ages and ages. And there was just smattering of forked lightning all across the sky, and it was silent. And I still don't really understand why that was. Like, it was so far away that we couldn't hear hear the thunder or there was no thunder. Either way, it was amazing. It was so amazing. I think the lightning show is the most spectacular thing I have ever seen in my life. At least at the time, it was. Dinner afterward, and I had chicken Thai green curry. Wow, gorgeous. We ate and talked on the beach with a lamp and the warm, humid air all around with brilliant sporadic flashes of lightning going on all around us. My first time on a tropical island. Wow. And I drew a extremely accurate looking portrayal of Samet right here, as you can see. Samet's actually a bit bigger than that in real life. Anyway, we had a few beers and shared a few jokes, then came back about 12:30 a.m. I was really tired. I think we are going to try to switch rooms today, but I am here for one more day, then back to Bangkok on Tuesday night. Leaving for Sydney on Thursday morning, 0800. What will today bring? Who knows? Okay, switched rooms and things are okay, except for crashing my motorbike and being the whitest guy on Koh Samet. Things are going rather swell. So I didn't elaborate on crashing the motorbike, probably because it's still kind of vivid in there. So what happened was, it wasn't like a serious crash or anything, it was just silly. As you may or may not know, that motorbikes and mopeds are pretty common, very popular in Thailand and a lot of other Asian countries, and helmets are kind of optional, of course. And anyway, I went to hire one. Cost like maybe $10 or something, and I think they kept my license. So it was a little bit scary. I was like, okay, keep my license. And they showed me how to work it, but it wasn't automatic. You had to actually click the gears, and and it didn't have a clutch, but you did have to click the gears with the pedal, and I was really nervous about it. But then I thought I was getting the hang of it. Everything seemed okay, and I went through a couple of places, and at the top of Koh Samet there's a reservoir, and I rode all around that, and I remember there was these black snakes slithering across, and I avoided a couple of them, thinking I was going to end up right in the reservoir, because there's no fence or anything. It was just a sloping concrete thing. If you go on Google Maps and look at Koh Samet, you'll see this reservoir at the very top. Anyway, I went down a couple of hills, went back up another hill, and then I stopped. And I thought, right, it's fun, but I'm not really enjoying this, because I was nervous, and I came to Thailand, I'm passing through Thailand on the way to Australia. I came there for adventure, but also to relax, and I was feeling really anxious about this motorbike, and I thought, I've not had my hour or 2 hours, it's probably only 25 minutes. And I thought, I'm just going to go back now. I just want to return this bike, go grab a beer, and sit on the beach, because that's why I'm here. So I have to go back up a hill to get to the main road, to get back down to the beach where I hired it. And as I turn around, I'm going up the hill in first gear, and everything's going fine, except I'm in first gear, so it was pretty slow. And I've got, my hands on the handlebars, accelerator, was like, well, I'll put it in second. Bad idea, because I wasn't prepared for the jolt. And as I clicked it into second, the bike lurched forward a little bit, but enough that it made me pull back on the throttle. And when I did that, the whole bike went flying up in the air. I fell off it. The bike came down with a crash, smashed all the cluster of lights, the brake light, indicator light, all that smashed at the back, and I think it also dented like the fuel tank and stuff, and I was a mess because I got up and the engine was still running, and I thought, okay, oh God, at least the engine's still running. And I remember thinking, okay, I just need to get this thing back, but then I realised there was bits of broken plastic everywhere, and I was really paranoid that the guy who I rented it from would probably use it as an excuse to either keep my license and charge me like, $1,000 or something like that. And I felt scared because I'm alone in this alien environment, and I have to admit I didn't know how much I could trust these strange people. So I put all the pieces of plastic light back into my pockets, and I got back on the bike, shaking like a leaf, and I rev it in first gear to go, and it doesn't go. And I look down, and the chain has come off. So I'm like, what do I do? So I kind of mess with it, and I get the chain back on, and I'm covered in oil, and then the bike's going again. So that's good news. Ever so carefully, in first gear, take it all the way back, and because I'm, paranoid, I've already got my story made up. My lie of a story. And I told the guy, hey, I crashed because the chain fell off. Chain fell off the bike, so it fell over and I crashed. Here's your bits of lights back, and I'm not paying for that. And the guy looked at it and his sort of heart sank, and he was like, I'm gonna have to fix up this bike. And then they went and got like the manager, and he came out, and I thought, here we go. He's gonna want my credit card details, he's gonna want cash. And that's kind of where it was going. He said, look, you have to pay. And I said, no, I'm not paying for that. That bike was unsafe, and the chain fell off, and that's why I crashed. I was like, yeah, that was it. No, you have to pay, he said. And I'm expecting him to like I said, I'm expecting him to give me some astronomical number. And I was like, no way, I'm not paying. And he said, you pay 100 baht, or 200 baht, maybe it was. And I thought, oh, what? That's like £3.50. It's like $7. And of course at that point I thought, oh yeah, I'll gladly pay that. But because I'd already dug my hole and I was blaming them, I didn't. I did, however, say to them, I don't want a refund. You can keep the rest of the rental money. And I walked away with my license and my credit cards, but not with my pride. My pride was gone, and I still feel bad about that to this day. If I knew how to get a hold of them, I think I'd PayPal them the money plus interest. But anyway, was my tangent away from the diary into my crashed motorbike adventure. I still feel really bad about that. Going for a Thai massage in a little while may do me the world of good. I'm really looking forward to going back to Bangkok tomorrow. I really love that place, even though it smells. Which it did smell. I think it's just that kind of hot, humid, combined with any garbage that's left out, any rubbish that's left out. It's got a distinct smell. Said goodbye to Simon, Angie and Joyce. Hopped a taxi back to the port. Got the boat back to Banpei. Met a nice couple on the minibus back. 2 Yanks who live in Taiwan. Also a German guy too. Yanks as Americans. I hope that's not derogatory or whatever. Wow. That appears to be pretty much the end of my adventure, my initial adventure in Thailand, which is interesting because if I remember correctly, the last night, I'm not sure if this was the last night or the second last night, was absolutely insane in terms of alcohol and partying and meeting people and stuff like that. And it obviously never made it into the diary. And by the way, I've never actually sat and read this diary since I wrote it. I wrote it, closed it, wrote it, closed it till it was full. And even though I've gone back and read bits of it sometimes, I've never actually read it like this. So you're reading this you're hearing this for the first time. I am, in a way. My next entry in the diary is from Banana Backpackers, Jessie Street, Brisbane, Australia. 1600 hours GMT plus 10 on the 20th of December 2002. So that's like a good 15-day, maybe 12-day gap where I didn't write anything. Well, I have not wrote in this thing for about 11 days. Okay. I had fun the last 2 days in Bangkok. We'll be happy to get back there sometime. The flight to Sydney was 9 hours 30 minutes, but seemed a lot shorter because it was a daylight flight with plenty to see for a change. Arrived in Sydney after a bumpy landing, and immigration let me through in no time. That's a really good opportunity to make an Australian joke, but about, criminal background and stuff, but I might just leave that one for now. Okay. There's a couple of personal things in these pages which I don't really want to tell you about. Oh yeah, and then I got sick. Yeah, I think I might leave it there. And I will prepare my next journal entry, which may be about Australia, New Zealand, and then back to Thailand. Actually, it would be Australia, then back to Thailand, Singapore, Laos, which is pronounced Lao. Yeah, so if you're interested in hearing more entries from my original travel journal, let me know, and I'd be happy to read them to you. Okay. Thanks, Oops, my lamp's gonna fall down. Okay, thanks everybody, and I hope you're all doing really well. Christmas season and family and kids and presents and work and stuff. I'm not too sure what my schedule is going to be like for the next few weeks, but I'm determined to upload once a week. Every Sunday is the plan. So even if I can't upload, I'll probably do a live stream. So keep an eye out for those as well. And I'd like to do another writing your name live stream. So if you haven't had a chance to get your name down yet, they're a lot of fun. Everybody seems to like it. And I'd be happy to do that for you. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss the notifications, because I do sometimes, often, go live with very little notice, all depending on my whether my kids are being quiet and if I've had enough sleep